parking lot looks like nothing. Just flat asphalt, a metal gate, and a few painted lines. No neon signage, no crowds, no fancy branding anywhere in sight. Yet some of these lots earn more profit per square foot than a restaurant. More than a retail store stacked wall to wall with inventory. More than most small shops sitting on the very same street. There's no cashier ringing up orders all day long. There's barely a product to sell in the first place. Just empty space and permission to park a car on it. That simplicity is exactly why investors quietly chase this business. But almost nobody understands how the real money actually moves. Most people assume a parking lot earns money one ticket at a time. That belief is only half true. The real engine behind this business hides somewhere else entirely, somewhere most drivers never think about while grabbing a ticket. Somewhere buried underneath the pavement itself in a very literal sense. By the end of this, you will see parking lots differently forever. On the surface, this feels like the easiest business on earth. No spoiling inventory sitting on a shelf overnight. No expensive machinery breaking down every other month. No supply chain to manage, no vendors calling for payment. Cars simply drive in, pay, and drive back out. There is no return desk, no refund arguments, no exchanges. A parking space does not rot like fresh produce. It does not go out of style like clothing on a rack. For a first-time business owner, that feels like a dream setup. Fewer moving parts usually means fewer ways to lose money. Add in low staffing needs, and the appeal grows even stronger. Some lots run almost entirely on machines, gates, and cameras. 1 or 2 employees can manage a lot earning 6 figures a year. Compare that to a restaurant needing a dozen staff just to open its doors. On paper, parking looks like pure, boring, reliable cash flow. That image alone is what pulls so many new investors into the market. Retirees, doctors, and quiet-side investors are drawn to it for the same reason. It looks like money that shows up without much daily effort. That perception is not entirely wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete. But the real cost of entry hides underneath that simplicity. The single biggest expense in this business is rarely the equipment. It is the land itself. In a busy downtown core, land alone can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. In major global cities, that number can climb past a few million. These figures shift heavily depending on the country and the city. A lot in a small town costs nothing like a lot in a capital city. Most new owners skip buying and choose to lease the land instead. Leasing lowers the entry price, but it also caps the long-term upside. Typical lease can run from a few thousand to tens of thousands per month. That rent gets paid whether any cars show up or not. Beyond land, the lot itself needs real work before it earns a single dollar. Paving and line stripping alone can cost tens of thousands of dollars. Lighting, fencing, and security cameras add even more on top. Ticket machines, gates, and card readers are far from cheap. A modern automated entry system can run from $15,000 to $60,000. Then come permits, zoning approval, and city inspections. Every city treats parking lots differently under its own local law. Some cities require accessibility upgrades for disability access. Some require drainage systems to prevent flooding across the pavement. Insurance is another quiet but serious cost of entry. Liability coverage protects against theft, vehicle damage, and injury claims. Altogether, a small independent lot can open for around $50,000. A larger paved lot in a prime location can cost well over $500,000, and that number does not even include the price of the land. This is exactly why so few parking lots are simple mom-and-pop businesses. Most are owned by real estate investors, not everyday entrepreneurs. The actual entry barrier is capital, not skill or industry knowledge. Anyone with enough money can open a lot within a few months. Very few people have that much idle capital sitting around. That capital wall is what keeps this business from getting crowded. This single fact quietly explains who actually ends up owning most parking lots. Once the lot is running, money flows in through several different channels. The most visible stream is transient parking, paid by the hour or the day. This works especially well near offices, hospitals, and shopping districts. The second stream is monthly parking, sold to regular commuters. Monthly permits create something rare in this business, predictable recurring income. A single monthly customer can be worth more than a dozen daily drivers combined. The third stream only appears a few times a year, but it hits hard. Event parking near stadiums, concerts, or festivals can multiply prices overnight. A normal $10 rate can jump to $40 or $50 on game night. That single event day can outperform an entire slow week of regular traffic. Fourth stream comes from partnerships, not from drivers directly. Nearby restaurants and offices often pay for validated parking for their guests. That validation deal creates guaranteed income with almost zero marketing effort. Some lots now install electric vehicle charging stations for extra income. Charging fees add revenue without needing a single extra square foot of land. A few premium lots even offer valet service at a higher price point. Some lots rent out fence space for local advertising banners. Towing fees from illegally parked vehicles create yet another income layer. Every added service raises the average revenue earned per parking spot. Together, these streams can push total revenue well beyond what a single ticket price suggests. On the surface, this looks like a business with many income streams. But almost all of these streams share one hidden trait underneath. The cost of parking one extra car is close to nothing. There's no extra material used, no extra product consumed. That means the margin on each individual transaction looks incredibly high. In theory, parking fees can carry profit margins above 80 or 90%. This is exactly where new investors start doing the math wrong. High margin per transaction does not mean high margin for the whole business. The real profit depends on one number most people completely ignore: occupancy rate. A lot sitting half empty is a lot quietly losing money every single day, because the rent or mortgage payment does not care how many cars showed up. Fixed costs stay exactly the same, whether the lot is full or empty. This is the hidden mechanic separating a winning lot from a failing one. Two identical lots can earn wildly different profits based on this one factor alone. A lot running at 90% occupancy can feel like a money machine. The same lot running at 40% occupancy can quietly bleed cash every month. Occupancy, not price, is the real lever that decides whether the lot survives. Even with strong margins on paper, real money leaks out in quiet ways. Property tax bills often rise every single year, regardless of income. Insurance premiums climb whenever a claim gets filed anywhere nearby. Security patrols are needed to prevent break-ins and vandalism at night. Cameras and entry gates require constant maintenance to keep working properly. Asphalt does not last forever. It cracks, shifts, and eventually crumbles. A full resurfacing project can cost tens of thousands of dollars. That resurfacing bill tends to repeat every 5 to 7 years. Snow removal in colder cities becomes a recurring seasonal expense. Payment technology providers often take a cut of every digital transaction. Unpaid tickets and gate-jumping drivers quietly eat into daily revenue. Cash handling lots also carry a constant risk of theft from the machines themselves. Slip-and-fall claims can trigger long, expensive legal battles. A single lawsuit can wipe out an entire year of profit. Attendants, if hired, add payroll, training, and turnover costs. Staff scheduling around peak hours is harder than most owners expect. Even small monthly leaks like these can add up to real money by year-end. None of these costs show up in the exciting sales pitch. They only appear later, buried inside the monthly expense report, and exact numbers here vary heavily by city, climate, and lot size. This is exactly where many parking lot owners quietly start to struggle. The business looks stable on the surface, but occupancy is never guaranteed. A new office tower going remote can drain half the daily traffic overnight. Competitor lot 2 blocks away can spark a sudden price war. Ride-sharing apps have already reduced personal car ownership in many downtown cores. Fewer personal cars on the road means fewer cars searching for parking. Parking Finder apps now let drivers compare prices before they even arrive. That transparency forces every lot owner into constant price competition. Some third-party booking platforms take a commission on every reservation made. That commission quietly shrinks the margin owners thought they were keeping. City-owned garages and metered streets often undercut private lot pricing. Municipal parking can legally charge less because taxpayers subsidize the cost. Private owners simply cannot compete with subsidized pricing without losing money. Large management companies also lease out lots and keep a cut of the revenue. Independent owners without that scale often earn thinner margins by comparison. Seasonal swings also hit certain lots extremely hard. A lot near a stadium may sit nearly empty for months at a time. A lot near a tourist strip may crash completely during off-season. Weather itself can dictate whether people even choose to drive that day. Every rainy or snowy week can quietly reduce transient traffic. Labor shortages can leave lots understaffed during their busiest hours. Inflation pushes up paving, insurance, and equipment costs year after year. And through all of this, fixed costs never take a single day off. Owners who ignore these shifts often get blindsided within just a few years. This is why many owners feel busy but still watch their margins shrink. Here is the part almost nobody talks about publicly. For many owners, the parking income is not actually the main prize. The real prize is the land sitting quietly underneath it. In fast-growing cities, land value can rise for years without any construction. A parking lot is often the cheapest legal way to hold that land. Instead of leaving the land empty, owners let cars park across it. Daily parking fees cover taxes, insurance, and upkeep in the meantime. Essentially, the lot pays for itself while the land quietly gains value underneath. This strategy is extremely common in downtown areas awaiting future development. Developers often buy old buildings, demolish them, and pave a temporary lot. That temporary lot earns cash flow while permits and financing get arranged. When land prices rise high enough, the real payout happens at sale, not at the gate. Some owners sell the land for 10 or 20 times what the lot ever earned in cash. This explains why some parking lots stay temporary for over a decade. It is not laziness, it is patience disguised as bad urban planning. The parking business becomes a bridge, not the final destination. That is the quiet secret behind why this business survives in expensive cities. This single insight changes how the entire business should be evaluated from day one. Without owning the land or leasing it cheaply, the math becomes far more fragile. Anyone buying land today at full market price faces a much harder equation. They need years of steady occupancy just to break even on land cost alone. That is a very different business than the one most people imagine. It explains why the same parking lot can be genius for one owner and a trap for another. So is owning a parking lot actually a smart move? The honest answer is, it depends entirely on how you enter. If you already own the land or lease it far below market rate, the math looks strong. Low staffing, low daily costs, and steady monthly customers can produce reliable cash flow. If you are buying land today, hopping parking alone repays it. The risk grows fast. Occupancy swings, competition, and technology disruption can quietly erode thin margins. Liability risk and rising property taxes add pressure that never fully goes away. Outcomes also shift heavily based on country, city, competition, and operator skill. For most everyday investors without existing land, this business demands more patience than people expect. A well-run lot in the wrong location can still lose money every year. A poorly run lot in the right location can still print cash regardless. The businesses that quietly print money are usually the ones holding appreciating land in growing cities. The businesses that quietly struggle are usually the ones paying full price, betting purely on daily tickets. In the end, a parking lot is rarely just a parking lot. It is a real estate position wearing a very simple disguise. And for the people who understand that early, the profit was never really about the cars at all.